Does anyone else love pasta? I love pasta. But yeah, pasta is carbs. Aren't carbs bad for us or are they good for us? You know, this is a never-ending thing. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Catster YouTube channel with me, Dr. Luqman, welcoming you back to our nutrition series. Today we'll be looking over another nutrient that you might be wondering about in your cat's diet. And of course, we're going to tackle the oh so nasty, oh so controversial carbohydrates. Now, if you actually do look at your cat's pet food label, whether you feed them kibble, whether you feed them canned food, or whatever you're feeding them, you actually might find there is no carbohydrate information on there. This does not mean that the food is carbohydrate free. It just means that there is no legal requirement in most instances to mention how much carbohydrate there is inside the food. However, you can calculate the carbohydrate yourself if you want to, which we'll be teaching you as this series progresses. Carbohydrates do get a somewhat bad reputation. They seem to be like the black sheep of nutrients when it comes for cats, and understandably so. You can actually formulate complete balanced meals for cats at home with extremely low amounts of carbohydrates, as low as 2%, sometimes even 1%. Whereas if you look at commercial diets, they often go extremely high on their carbohydrates. In comparison, they usually have around 30%, 40%, some diets even go up to 50%. And yes, there are some diets that go beyond that and go up to 60% carbohydrates, which may seem strange. This is definitely controversial, and the main reason carbohydrates are added inside commercial diets is not just to offer nutrition, but actually to offer nutrition in a way that offers the company the best possible formula for the least possible cost. This is because animal meats are expensive when compared to carbohydrates. Now, that being said, carbohydrates do have some merit, which needs to be mentioned. One of the more interesting things is that a lot of people correctly point out that wild cats do not eat as much carbohydrates as we find in pet foods. This is absolutely true. However, it is also important to note that wild cats essentially live to hunt, eat, reproduce, and eventually die off. Like, they don't have a lot of aspects of welfare associated with them, and their lives are definitely drastically different from the lives of our pets. Carbohydrates may offer some benefits to pet cats when used properly. The most relevant or the most interesting aspect is fiber. So fiber does offer some potential health benefits for cats when used properly. However, fiber is not technically required in a cat's diet in order to make it complete and balanced. Therefore, this topic does remain somewhat controversial. The science is there to support the fact that in some circumstances, carbohydrates can indeed be useful. And the circumstance where they're really useful is when they're used as nutraceuticals. Now, these are actually nutrients that are intended to also offer some sort of pharmaceutical benefits. So there's something like good medicine in your food. However, if you are preparing a homemade diet for your cat and you're new to the process, my honest advice would be in the beginning to leave carbs off or leave carbs at a minimum, because they can complicate things. They are technically not that necessary, and they can throw the balance off when it comes to balancing a diet to make sure it's complete. For example, if you decide to add, let's say, carrots, potatoes, or broccoli in your cat's diet, those are safe for a cat to eat, but they will throw off the balance of the nutrition in the rest of the food. So it's not something that you can just add in haphazardly in hopes of giving your cat benefits of the carbohydrates. It's something that should be done with thought, meticulously, and of course by measuring and weighing them out. So long story short, what you need to know about carbs is carbs are prevalent in commercial pet food in very high amounts. They are controversial. However, when used in the right amounts, they might offer your pet some benefits. So it is not entirely beyond the scope of sensibility to consider including them in your pet's diet at some point. With that, we wrap up our carbohydrate series. For now, this is me, Dr. Luqman, reminding you all to please do comment, subscribe, and like. We welcome your comments, questions, queries, and of course, keep your head catster, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.